morning, Mountain. We are live here in Warfield, Kentucky. JJ Pruitt, Darryl McCoy here. As JJ, I almost forgot my trusty medal.
No, I had to grab it for you real quick. But I also see that you have another piece of sports memorabilia as well. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, we will get to that here in just a second. As we get started here, I want to take and talk about my night here. But let's get the music off here. As JJ, 5 o'clock. I'm running on just a few hours sleep today. Ended up at 5 o'clock. Well, I heard the storms about 4 o'clock, and about 5:45, I felt a hand going like that. And my little girl, my sound machine stopped. We all sleep with sound machines in the house, and so her sound machine stopped, and she come in there, and I didn't get to go back to sleep. So running on a little sleep today. But on this rainy, dreary day, hopefully, it stormed hard. So hopefully there's no power outages or anything like that going on.
Absolutely. That's what we're praying for. We've had a lot of solid shows so far, and I'm hoping that we can continue that today.
Yeah, and you was talking about your jersey of the day. Inform people what you got on today.
This is from Sean Kluski from Phelps, Kentucky, and he was a really good point guard back in, I believe, the late 90s, and he actually led his team to a district title.
Yeah, Kluski, I think, graduated in maybe 99, I want to say, 99 or 2000. I can't remember if he was my grade or 99, but in 99, he led them to the district championship where Belfry ended up beating them out. But listen, he was ahead of his time. He was one of the nastiest point guards. He had handles like no other. Like the dude, widely known as one of the top 3 Phelps Hornets all time.
Oh, I wish I could have seen him play. Like, that's one thing that I wish that we had more of is footage from back then.
Yeah,
from some of these.
Well, you didn't have media networks like this back then. You had some good ones. You had like the PRG that would do district tournaments, stuff like that. But unless you made districts or something like that, you rarely got on. So, today's world, there's footage of any game you want to catch.
Absolutely.
So, you was talking about memorabilia. Got some very special memorabilia mailed in to us from one of the best to do it in the D&D era. And I am going to show you, JJ.
Whoa! Who was that?
This is Brady Dingus.
No way.
He sent us an autographed jersey that will be hanging here in the background on future shows. So big shout out, Brady Dingus, Moorhead State. Appreciate you, Brady.
Absolutely,
singing to the Startup Morning Show.
Heck yeah. That is really nice.
Yeah, he's Brady's an awesome kid, trains a lot of kids here in the mountains, having a great career. And listen, I couldn't be more honored to have his jersey right here.
Yeah, that's terrific.
And we got the Moorhead State autographed basketball with us as well.
Yeah, I asked you about that as soon as I came down. I said, when we get a basketball?
Well, yesterday.
Yeah,
yesterday we got it. So, but big shout out to Brady Dingus for sending us the memorabilia. We're going to get to the OPB Swish game this weekend. We'll get to that here in a second. Yesterday, ended up driving up to Ashland. I took my son up there to work out with Mr. Basketball, one of the Mr. Basketball favorites, Xander Carter. And on the way there, I'd done it a couple of years ago, my trip to Ashland. I gave my son the history and rap. I let him know who Tupac, Biggie, let him know the stories, the music, the whole way. Yesterday, I decided to tell him the best rock bands of all time. And, I got to thinking on my way there, and as I was explaining to him, I come up with one rock band that I think had more hits than anybody else. If you could think one, and this one here, I would actually, if I was stranded at sea and could only take one CD, it might be this one. But who would yours be?
I have a couple. There's a lot of good bands. I'm a historian when it comes to, music and stuff like that. So whenever you are asking me like who I think some of the biggest artists was at that time, I would say AC/DC probably sold a lot of records. Led Zeppelin, I know they sold a lot of records. Let's see, I know Mötley Crüe was really big back in the day. And during my time period, the 90s and the early 2000s, Nirvana sold a lot of
But
records.
if you could take one CD,
one rock CD,
yeah, they sold a lot of records, but I'm talking about who had the most hits. Like if you had a greatest hits, what CD would you want to take?
Jesus. I mean, they only was around from 89 to 94. I would probably take any Nirvana CD. I'd probably take Nevermind. But if you were to ask me which band I think has the most
you're
hits.
stranded at sea and you're going to take that miserable down music. The
Nevermind was a really good album. It sold
like
30 million copies.
I love Nirvana, but if I'm stranded at sea, I'm not wanting to listen to Nirvana for the rest of my life.
Oh, Thriller. I mean, if I'm picking an album, I'm probably going to go with Thriller.
I'm going Creedence Clearwater Revival Greatest Hits.
That's a good.
There's nobody I will put it up to the test. No band has had the amount of hits. If you and for the folks, the kids that's watching it don't know who Creedence Clearwater Revival is, go look them up. I'm telling you, best greatest hits of all time, and it's not close.
Well, that's one thing about this newer generation I think is a little frustrating, and I'm not saying everybody's like this, but I feel like a lot of them don't really keep up with their history, like whether it's with sports or music or anything. It's like they completely forget about like the music that was good back then, because it's really good stuff. I mean, and I feel like you can learn a lot more just by doing your research. Whenever I was younger, like I always, like, regardless of what music was good at the time that I was listening to it, I would go back and see what my parents used to listen to. I would go back and see what my cousins and stuff listened to.
Well, I grew up. My mom, thank God, my mom, she was a bit of a partier, and throwing parties all the time. I got to listen to some music that I hated back then, but now it's my favorite music they are. But Creedence Clearwater Revival, I mean, you talking about Fortunate Son, Down on the Bayou, Down on the Corner, Susie Q, Proud Mary. Let's see. I mean, you just go on. Like, I ain't got the list in front of me, but you would be blown away with the amount of hits that Creedence Clearwater Revival has. Folks, let us know who your favorite band is. Sandra Turner says, I like CCR. Appreciate you saying that. There you go. Sanders is on point. Sanders, and today is Breathitt County Day, Sanders, and we will have a Breathitt County coming on the show. Actually, we should have got one of you guys. We will have a Breathitt County coming on the show when we talk about the county. So Sanders Turner is one of the biggest sports nuts there in Breathitt County. We see Carl Whitey Little, Matt Maynard. There's our
regulars,
loyal regulars tuning in here. As guys, we got a huge show today. I mean, we got Crayson Lafferty coming on at 8:30. Jasper Johnson, one of the top ranked shooting guard in the country.
Yeah, that's
coming on the
insane.
show. And then we will have a Breathitt County coming on when we do the county of the day. So got a lot to talk about, including the story everybody wants to talk about, Joe Biden stepping down. So, but before we go to break, JJ, it is July 22nd. Yes, what is the celebrity birthdays today?
Oh, we got a couple of them. Let's see. We can start off with Selena Gomez.
Okay.
Happy birthday to you. The Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels, one of my all-time favorite wrestlers. Danny Glover, which is which to me he's known for the Lethal Weapon franchise.
That's the most notable movies Danny Glover is in.
Willem Dafoe. And for anybody that doesn't know him, he's the Green Goblin and Spider-Man in the 2000s. Phenomenal actor. Keith Sweat, for all you individuals that love the baby making music.
Listen, that was my wingman back in the 90s.
Yeah, he had a lot of good hits. David Spade.
Keith Sweat, to keep it PG, he assisted me on a lot of good hits too. David Spade?
Yeah, he was most notable for all of his Adam Sandler films.
Okay.
Didn't he play in Joe Dirt as well? Was that
Yeah,
David
yeah.
Spade?
David Spade and Joe Dirt.
Yeah.
David Spade back. He really got his start with Chris Farley back in the Tommy Boys
Yeah.
and them movies. But
Oh, he was another really good actor.
yeah, he was insane. Now those are celebrity birthdays. As I look on my Facebook, Lacey Hall, happy birthday. The wife of Timmy Hall,
Oh,
and
wow.
the mother of Lathan Hall.
Okay.
So, best defensive player in the D&D era. Alan Wright, one of our biggest fans, happy birthday. Ginger Nairn, happy birthday.
Yeah.
And Chad Eversole, happy birthday to them folks on my birthday, guys, as we are looking forward. JJ, Joe Biden steps down. Joe Biden steps down, and we're going to tell you all about it when we come right back from our first commercial break. We'll be right back on the Startup Morning Show.
Started right here on this farm. We may have grown over the years, but we've never lost sight of what was important to us. We're continuing that tradition today, and we always will be for generations to come.
Walters Kia. By now you know Kia is a great vehicle, and you know they come with a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. So why should you buy from Bruce Walters Kia? At Bruce Walters Kia, we're going to change your oil for free for life. And what you do with that money you save is up to you. Come check out the 2022 Kia Carnival and the 2021 Kia Sorento. Only at Bruce Walters Kia in Pikeville. Or shop us online at brucewalterskia.com.
And we're back here on the Startup Morning Show on this rainy, dreary day in Warfield, Kentucky. JJ Pruitt, Darryl, McCoy here. JJ, Joe Biden done what a lot of Democrats have been begging him to for the last 6 months. He finally stepped down.
I mean, you were begging for him to do it, but what is your backup plan now? It's like,
well, he endorsed Kamala Harris.
That,
Now, I do not think Kamala Harris is the candidate that can beat Donald Trump. You know, like I said, I think, you know, there's only one that can beat, and that's Michelle Obama. That's the only Democrat that I know out there that could beat Donald Trump.
yeah, and I don't think that she has any interest in doing
running.
that. Yeah.
No. So, Joe Biden become the oldest president in office, you know, at 81 years old. And, you know, I would have been really disappointed in America if they, after seeing his health problems, you know, all the videos coming out, if they would have voted an 81-year-old in office to run our country, I would have been very disappointed, because at 81 years old with his health scare, there is no way that the people around him ain't the ones running the country instead of him.
Absolutely. And I'm just as disappointed in the politicians that put him in there, because it's like, okay, it's a miracle that he survived those 4 years, because the average person, I believe, lives to be 78 maybe.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you're looking at, he's 3 years over the average. So you know he doesn't have that much time left. And how good mentally is he going to be 3 or 4 years from now?
Yeah, and then you're asking for America to be in a tough situation, because then we're going to be going through a funeral of a president.
Yeah.
And then, you know, Kamala Harris would have to take over, run the country. I mean, it was just avoiding a bad situation. You know, hats off to him for stepping down. But the way he did it was very surprising. But if you've watched him lately, it's not surprising. He did not let anybody in his camp know till 1 minute before he let the media know.
It's almost like he wanted to do something on his own for once.
Yeah.
Which is how, I'm not saying that was his intentions, but that's how it looks, because a lot of people seem to think that he's not the person that's in control, that he's being controlled by everybody else.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it makes it look now, it's like, well, this is my decision. You know, I've got maybe 4 or 5 years left. I'm going to enjoy these last 4 or 5 years. Then, you know, you guys can take it from here.
Well, let's hope Donald Trump gets office, because, you know, America needs that uplift. And I really think that, you know, when Donald Trump says make America great again, I think the man means it. you know. And I really liked what him and JD Vance said at their rally in Michigan on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
You know, everything coming out right now, love what we're hearing from Donald Trump. And, you know, if you want to know, you know, the fear that Donald Trump's putting in people right now, I seen on the news this morning where hundreds of migrants are coming up from southern Mexico. And I mean, they're coming in waves and trying to get into America before Donald Trump gets in office. That's the scare that he's put, because they said that they're scared to death that he's going to go through with his promise to continue building the wall. So they're wanting to get in America before then. That tells you why we need somebody like Trump. These are people that, you know, America would welcome them, but do it the right way.
Absolutely. And I'm not exactly sure what the steps are. I mean, I think that a lot of people have said over the years that the entire process of getting in, like, a lot of people don't fully know how to do it. But even then, it's like, do it the right way. I mean, that doesn't look good at all.
No, and not at all. I mean, when you see that many people coming up, you never know. Them could be rapists, murderers, you know. I mean, who knows? There are people that's going to come and live off Americans, you know, and do it the right way so you can make sure you get housing, it's safe.
Yeah.
You know, there's so many people, when you come in like that, there's so many people that's taking advantage of these people too. And, you know, so that's the other thing that you worry about. But, you know, I really think, you know, Trump, he said one of his first things is going to be continue building the wall. So, you know, let's just hope he gets in office.
And another thing is, like, not only do I think that he's going to win, but I think that the Republicans are probably going to take control of the House and the Senate. So all of these promises that he's been wanting to make, like 4 years ago, all of the promises that, you know, everybody swore up and down that he didn't deliver on, if he actually has control of the House and the Senate, everything that he wants to do, he's going to be able to get it done.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, I don't know. I mean, but I do think that, you know, Joe Biden should be applauded for making that decision to step down, because, you know, he done what was best for the country.
Absolutely. And, you know, he's probably not going to be remembered as somebody that did the best job, but it's like,
or I said step down, I meant pull his name from the, you know, he's not stepping down president,
no,
but from
stepping down from the election.
He wanted to focus on the rest of his term. So
yeah.
But as you know, we get past that, OPB, and let us know what your thoughts are on the Joe Biden guys. We want to hear what your guys at home's thoughts are on it. But let's talk about Saturday. OPB Swish, D&D Mountain Elite, 0-2 on the day. So the home teams take the L. Thank God the D&D Mountain Elite took a little worse L than what the OPB Swish did. But OPB Swish, again, we love the Swish. I was blown away with the crowd that was there, the amount of talent that was on the floor. You could tell that these girls, OPB Swish, are just now getting together, because that was the only thing. Like, you know, the Raleigh Aces was like a well-oiled machine. You know, OPB Swish, you could tell that they're an expansion team and they're just now getting things figured out.
Yeah.
But I really think that when they go to Raleigh, this is going to be a completely different ball game, and I think the OPB Swish is going to go in, maybe revenge this loss. But, you know, Coach Weffenstadt and them, there was nothing they could do, because something happened I never seen in my life, JJ. 84% shooting from three-point line.
I never thought I would live to see the day or something like that. I mean, at first I kept thinking to myself, like, how are you guys getting beat by a team that doesn't have that many players on their roster? But then as the game continues to go, you're seeing 3-point shot after 3-point shot after 3-point shot miss, and then they make 6 more in a row, and then they miss, and then they make 8 more in a row, and then they don't miss again for the rest of the game.
I told you when it was going on. Yeah, we didn't have an official stat keeper, but I said they're shooting 80%. I said they have to be shooting over 80%. They're not missing. And you was like, maybe 70. You know,
70
like
is still like,
that would have been mind blowing. But you know, when you're in the middle of the game, you could tell like they was not missing, and they was contested shots they was hitting. You know, hand in their face. You know, and Tiana Edwards dropped a 40 spot right here in Inez. Her first trip to Inez dropped a 40 spot. I tell you, if you're not watching WABA basketball, you're missing out because there's some really good basketball being played in the WABA. You know, Tiana Edwards dropped that 40 spot. We talked to her after the game. Come to find out, she is the Jack Goki of women's basketball. You know, she went to UNC Wilmington, I think. No, Winston-Salem. She went to Winston-Salem and was the all-time three-point shooter at Winston-Salem. And then she comes to Inez, drops that 40 spot. I think she ended up out of that 40, I think 7 or 8 of them was three-pointers. And so 84%, I can see if somebody's shooting 12 threes and they shoot 84%. I could see that. That's really rare in itself, but I could see that possibly happening. They shot nearly 30 threes. They was 22 for 28.
That is insane.
That is unbelievable. Never seen it. Let us know if you folks have ever seen that in your life. You know, but D&D Mountain Elite takes the L. Listen, we got some highlights from that game, JJ. We put on a good show, and we should have won that game. I mean, listen. If we played them again, I think we beat them by 30.
And we had a double-digit lead.
Yeah, had a double-digit lead. Point. But, you know, hats off to the resiliency of Thomas Evans and the West Side Renegades. I mean, Caden Vance, Bishop, what was the Blankenship, Bishop, Vance.
There was 2 bishops, right?
Yeah.
2 different ones.
It was insane. You know, they come in with knocking down shots, nothing they could do, and they just – kept coming at them. Like, we go up 10 and then they cut it right back to 6, you know. So let's look at some highlights from that game, JJ.
He's the best. Here comes Saki Sefa.
Yeah.
Showtime!
With a 360.
Saki Sefa hitting a 360 on him, JJ.
Putting on a show. Let's see if he.
There's Sloan.
Okay.
Gets it out to Sefa.
Sefa with the 3-point. Oh, with the bucket.
That's it. There's Estridge. He drives baseline. Nice attack by
Absolutely.
Estridge.
Really good shot.
Yeah.
Yes. To number 4 with the miss.
Estridge has Davis. They got Saki Sefa. Alley-oop.
Oh, that's a very,
Slamma jamma.
There we go.
That's took the.
Oh, that was smooth. That was a very smooth shot.
Sefa, that's the next level move right there. The beat. You know, they move the ball well. They know each other.
I want to say my earliest memories of Rabbit.
Jake Sloan, what his normal playing weight is.
Oh, wow.
Nice pass by Estridge.
Very good shot.
Yeah, and he does.
Okay.
Nice pass there. Estridge finds Russell in the corner for a try.
Number 2, Jacob Mullins with the basket.
Again, Sefa with a three.
Sefa right back at him.
Yeah. Off the mark. The nice pass. Estridge somehow got that pass down to Sloan. Here's Saki Sefa. Showtime! Saki Sefa with Davis. Estridge probably should have shot that layup. Nice job by Davis. Put back good. Peyton Davis with a nice putback. Davis drives. Nice job. Nice bucket by Davis. Ties it up.
Sometimes you just got to keep it simple.
Carl Whitey Little says, let's go. Davis for 3. He sinks it.
Yeah,
Big 3.
We knew that.
Great group of boys there. Every one of them played well. I mean, I didn't think any kid played bad. I think Peyton Davis was the reason they stayed in the game, made some tough baskets there at the end. Kid showed he's a lot more than just a three-point shooter. Well, everybody knows his defense, but, I mean, he ended up making tough baskets, driving to the rack. And then, I thought Walker Russell played amazing.
Yeah.
Him and Saki are sophomores. Both of them played really well. Walker Russell had a chance at the end of the game. We was down 1. He went to the free throw line, had 2 free throws, we was down 2, and went to the free throw line and had a chance to tie it. Could not make the first free throw. Second free throw, picture perfect. You couldn't ask him better. Banged it off the front of the rim, got his rebound, had a little 3-footer, just rimmed out. He took a bump too during it. But then we had a last second shot too. We had 0.5 on the clock, had a chance, but didn't happen. Took a loss at home to a very good West Side team. That West Side team, that's got to give them a load of confidence as they head into their season. And then Jackson Estridge, he played amazing on the defensive end. Shots wasn't falling. I think he ended up with 7, probably led the team in assists, but his defense really, I mean, it was clicking all game. Him and Davis is a nightmare on defense.
Absolutely.
But, hats off the West Side. Listen, Caden Vance was our menu beef jerky player of the game. But, tough day for OPB Swish and D&D Mountain Elite. Hometown's taking the L.
Well, I mean, in your defense with your team specifically, they haven't played together in, a month?
Yeah.
So, I mean,
that was our first time. And, Stephen Castador says, where's Saki play at? Saki plays at Wesley Christian. And Jimmy Johnson says seemed to have gotten out rebounded on the offensive end from what I watched in the game. Said I'd safely bet the 90% of the time that a shot was put up by either team, not one player turned and found a man to box out. All the players were just standing there flat-footed straight up and tried to out-jump the other players. Agree with you 100%. That's where
fundamentals.
Fundamentals. I preach and preach, and it's we do got Connor and Cade they're really fundamental and they do box out. I thought a couple of our other ones got caught standing around waiting for rebounds to come to them instead of boxing out. If you're not going to go up at its highest point and grab it, then you got to box out and let it fall in your hands. And we wasn't doing that. So offensive rebounding is what ended up. Offensive rebounding in the first half, we just wasn't getting out on shooters.
Yeah.
So that was the two reasons why I think we took the L. Jimmy, you're spot on once again.
Absolutely. And, like I said, I think that you guys not playing a month together factored into it.
It definitely hurt because we've not practiced, everybody's been in camps and, we've took the last month off because kids going to camps and stuff. So, it definitely hurt us, but, sometimes you take them. But, I like our chances. I think we play that game 10 times. I think we win 9 of them. Westside just happened to win their one on Saturday.
Absolutely. And losses keep you humble.
Yeah, and that Westside team, I mean, listen, although I say that Westside team is extremely well coached.
Yeah.
They move the ball well. They're just, they're a well-oiled machine. They play with each other. They know what they're doing.
Yeah, and one of the kids that we interviewed was on the team as well.
Yep.
He was the Vance.
Yeah, Caden Vance.
Caden Vance, he's really good.
So, guys, we're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we got Martin County star football player and wrestler Grayson Lafferty joining us. We'll be right back after a quick word from our sponsors. You're watching the Startup Morning Show with JJ Pruitt and Darryl McCoy.
Incorporated Little Flower Clinic announcing help needed. We're seeking donations of gift cards to help us make a difference for our homeless and at-risk patients. Gift cards will be used for new clothing, new underwear, and personal hygiene items. If you're interested in helping, please contact us. Call Kendra Cole at 606-487-9505, extension 342, or mail your gift cards to Little Flower Clinic, 279 East Main Street, Hazard, Kentucky, 41701.
Recently had a loved one pass, bring them to Holland Home in Virgie, Kentucky. We let you grieve in peace instead of worrying about a heavy financial burden of burying a loved one. Here at Hall & Jones, we have multiple chapels that can accommodate any size family. We look forward to helping you and your family here at Hall & Jones.
And we're back here on the Startup Morning Show. JJ Pruitt, Darryl McCoy. Now, I don't see his picture, but Grayson, are you on here?
I'm here.
Okay. There you are. The Grayson Lafferty. Listen, I had to make sure his camera was working so everybody could see this gun show that's going on there.
Kid's a beast.
He's a monster, man. The Grayson, glad to have you. Good morning.
Good morning.
The JJ Grayson, we've covered Grayson for a long time. He caught my eye back when he was in 6th, 7th grade. His physical regiment was far ahead of what any 6th, 7th grader's ever been. Like, I mean, just physically, he was ahead of the curve. Grayson, tell everybody, who got you started that early in weightlifting? Because that's something you don't see.
My dad got me inspired whenever I was real young. So.
And your dad's a former Prestonsburg Black Cat, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. It's been you come over from Paintsville to Martin County, and I'll tell you what, I'm gonna let JJ ask his question first because I don't want to take his.
Oh, it's okay. Grayson, man, it's nice to meet you. And when I asked my co-host what could he tell me about you, he said that you unfortunately had to sit out last year. So, you had the unfortunate task of having to sit out for a year. Can you tell me how that personally affected you mentally as you're trying to get better, but not able to test your skills against competition for almost a year?
It kind of inspired me a little more than before. I had to prove a point, and I had to work harder, and I feel like it actually helped me out because it gave my whole body a rest.
That makes a lot of sense too. I didn't even think about that. So how do you like your new school so far? I mean, have you had a chance to get to know some of your teammates, or?
I'm loving it, man. They're all joining together like a family, and I love it.
That's terrific. So who are some of the wrestlers that you grew up watching? Like, is there anybody specifically that you try to model your game after?
Not particularly, no.
Oh, okay. And what is your weight class, just out of curiosity?
This year will be 185.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Grayson, you again, talking. You come over from Paintsville, who has a history past there in football. You had an amazing freshman season with them. What brought you to Inez?
I couldn't tell you.
Just looking for a change of scenery.
That's right.
Yeah, and the thing is y'all was kind of facing. I mean, not that they still got talent with AJ Johnson and all of them there, but it was going to be a rebuilding process with the senior class that they graduated. So I could see wanting to go somewhere where you could make the best of your 3 years. Now not having to set out. One thing that I found interested in you is during, I talked to you quite a bit during that time, when you wasn't eligible. It took you almost a year to get eligible. You had to sit out a season, but you was content. If you had to play, you was like, if I have to play JV, if I have to go play other sports, I'll do it. You was content with, sitting out until you got eligible. Talk about that mindset.
I'm just trying to look at my future here for the better. I like what Martin County does with their wrestling program. Yeah. I feel like as an athlete that's going to better me in all 3 sports.
Okay.
So
now, and that's one thing at Paintsville, their wrestling program just getting up and started, right?
That's correct. Yes.
Yeah, so, and JJ, I know you're not more familiar with it, but Martin County is one of the probably top 2. It's probably Johnson Central and them here in the mountain or in the region, right, Grayson?
That's right.
Yeah, the Grayson, now, football season has started. You've been able to practice, get out there on the field. I mean, you got a load of talent there. You got Devin Maynard, Braden Eastep. I mean, you can name player after player. What are y'all looking like so far?
We're looking really good. Our passing game's starting to flow more, and I'm just excited about the run game. I know it's just going to be a lot better,
Now, are you going to be able? Are they playing you in the backfield or?
Yes. Right now, they've moved me to middle linebacker, which I'm not used to, but I'm liking it more and more every day.
Well, listen, you're when you're that middle linebacker, a lot of the weight's on you. You got to direct traffic, and one thing that you got to, and it's going to make you a better player and a better prospect overall because it's going to bring you out of your shell. You're going to have to step up and be that leader.
Yeah.
As far as what's the biggest difference between Paintsville and Martin County so far?
Right now, a lot of belly's different.
Okay.
You know, under the gun, not so much pistol. I
Yep.
think Martin County is going to work in pistol more this year, though. So I'm excited to see how that goes.
Now, we know you're playing football and wrestling. Are you going to add any other sports, or are you just going to stick to them too?
I say I'll just stick to wrestling, baseball, and football for now.
Okay. Wrestling season coming up. I know this summer they've had a couple wrestling events. Around the mountains. When's the last time you hit the mats?
We went to a FCA camp, I believe, is the last time I've touched the mat, and that was a wonderful experience too. That helped me bond with the team more, get to know them. I really look forward to going to that again next year. Also,
now your football coach is he's one of the more well known wrestling coaches in the mountains. Do you think that he'll help you kind of shore up some of them deficiencies you might have in your game?
Yes, he's very understanding and hands-on of a coach. Whatever you need to be corrected in, he'll correct you. So,
from what you've seen and the competition you've went up against, do you think Grayson Lafferty can bring a state title back to Inez?
I believe there's a possibility. Yeah. Our upcoming linemen here, sophomores, I got to give some credit to them too. They're looking amazing right now. They've had a few lineman challenges that they've been working hard at, and they've been showing up and competing amazingly. I'm very excited to have them boys blocking for me this year.
That's the big hole. That's the big question mark right now. I think everybody's waiting to see what that Martin County line looks like because they graduated so much, and in particular, when you lose a center like Tate, you lose a lot. And real quick, you mentioned your line. Can you give us some of the names to watch out for on that line?
Bryson Wills,
okay.
He's doing really good right now. Kendall Mullins, heck of a player. And you've mentioned Braxton before, I believe, on here. Braxton's showing up and doing awesome right now. So,
is he playing on the line?
Yep.
Okay. Do you got any games circled on the calendar? Any games you're looking forward to this season?
I believe the third or the fourth weekend. I'm very excited about that for Paintsville.
Do y'all play Paintsville?
Yes, sir.
You answered that quickly.
Yeah, got some unfinished business there, and it's going to. I mean, you still love a lot of your brothers there, and I guarantee you'll look forward to playing against AJ.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So Grayson, when you get started on the football field, I have no question that the college coaches are going to come knocking. It's just you take care of your body, you live, you breathe it. And it's wrestling goes hand in hand with football. You do everything right. You're a very recruitable kid on and off the field. If you could go to any college, what's your dream college to go to?
I'm liking North Carolina right now.
Okay. All right. The Tar Heels. I could say one thing. I would definitely cheer for you, but it would hurt me to cheer for you. I'm a Cats fan. But moving forward, we got a lot of fan questions. People wants to know, what is Grayson Lafferty like off the field? Grayson, what is your favorite shoe?
My favorite shoe? I don't know. I have so many I couldn't tell you.
What's your favorite brand of shoe?
Nike.
Okay. Now, what if we went to look through your playlist? What are the top 3 artists that Grayson listens to?
Post Malone, Zach Bryan, and probably the Little Baby.
I can dig. I can dig that. Every one of them. I'm a big Zach Bryan fan. Now, favorite cereal.
Favorite cereal.
Yeah.
I don't eat a lot.
Okay.
I'd have to say Fruity Pebbles probably though.
I think every athlete we've asked has said Fruity Pebbles.
Yeah.
Right.
Good taste though. I mean, it's a good choice.
Yeah. Now, what is your favorite sports movie?
Favorite sports movie? Probably Blindside.
Okay.
Or Sandlot.
Sandlot. There you go.
Classic.
He's going old school. Yeah. The favorite NFL football team.
NFL football team. I've always liked the Ravens. I don't hardly watch NFL anymore though.
Okay. What college football team you root for?
North Carolina or Arkansas.
Okay. Come on, Grayson, you're killing me, man. As a Kentucky fan, can't root for Arkansas either. Now, now, Grayson, if you went back so far in your career, what is the number one memory that sticks out through your athletic career to you?
Probably winning regionals whenever I was in the Little League.
And in what sport?
Baseball.
Okay. Wow, I didn't figure that. Definitely going away from the wrestling football field for that one. Well, Grayson, we know this morning you probably got a ton of stuff to do. I definitely wanted to get you on because you're going to be one of the household names. I guarantee you, every night on Crunch Time, we're going to be talking about you. You're going to put up hellacious numbers at Martin County like you did at Paintsville. I think you led the team in tackles as a freshman at Paintsville. So I have no doubt that you're going to have a fabulous season. But before we go, Grayson, JJ wanted to know. He said, "Is this kid really what you say he is?" Give him a little taste of the gun show there. Let's see him puppies.
Let's see what you're working with. Man, kid's a beast.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Grayson, thank you for joining us.
Hey, right here. See that right there? There you go.
He's got pea shooters over here.
I got
Grayson.
them SpongeBob noodle arms.
But Grayson, I want to thank you for joining us, man. And as we get closer to the season, I'll bring you back on right for your first game, and we'll talk to you and see where your team's at then. And until then, we look forward to talking to you. And good day, man.
Thank you.
What do you think, JJ? Unbelievable kid.
Very well spoken, a lot of confidence, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what he does on the wrestling mat. Like, I have a little nephew who's, he'll be a teenager in a couple of years, and he has a wrestling background too. So,
have you ever seen? I mean, that kid was built like that as an 8th grader.
Yeah, some kids are just built different.
He's insane, and well, it's not that. It's not just genetics. He's got great genetics. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But this kid, he was ahead of the curve. Like, he was pounding the weight room in 6th, 7th grade. Like, kids in the mountains, most trainers will tell you, don't start lifting heavy weights till you're like in 8th grade. Well, I don't know what weights he was lifting, but it was clearly working because when you watched him on the football field, you could just tell this kid's different. Like, it wasn't like, you see some kids that can come in and hit you hard, but this kid is one of them that when people come in and try to hit you hard, you bounce off him.
Yeah.
Like, you cannot take this kid down. I think Martin County is going to be one of the funnest teams to watch in the mountains this year. And one of the reasons why is this kid right here coming over from Paintsville.
Absolutely. And what is their class again in football? Is it?
Martin County is 2A, I think.
They're AA? Okay.
Yeah, they're 2A in football, and single A in basketball.
All right.
So, JJ, we're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we got a ton more topics to talk about. And don't forget, 9:15, Jasper Johnson joining us. Come right back and join us here on the Startup Morning Show.
D&D Auto Sales. Right now, guaranteed credit approval. No credit, bad credit, good credit, it don't matter. Guaranteed credit approval 100% right now at J&B Auto Sales. Stop by and see them today in DeFord, Kentucky. Crum Funeral Home in DeBoer, Kentucky is committed in giving the highest quality funeral services for a fair and reasonable price. If you don't want to have to deal with heavy financial obligations during your grieving process, come see us at Crum Funeral Home. Our staff is ready to serve you.
Eric Homa Drug today, and let them fill your. Eric Homa Drug has been serving the Chapmanville community for over 46 years. They're a proud supporter of the Chapmanville Tigers and all mountain athletes.
Back here on the Startup Morning Show with JJ Pruitt, Darryl McCoy, JJ rocking the Sean Kluski throwback jersey today. JJ, great interview from Crayson.
Yeah, he's a really well-spoken kid, and like you said, he started in what, 6th or 7th grade hitting the weights.
6th, 7th grade, and as a freshman, he led the state of Kentucky in Class A in tackles with over 100.
I'd say it sounds to me like his parents have done a really good job of
Listen, Brandy and Dennis, great people.
Absolutely.
He comes from good stock, as we say here in the mountains.
Well, it definitely shows just by the way he conducts himself.
JJ, I seen in the news, Priscilla Presley under fire.
Wait, Elvis's daughter?
Yep. She, let me make sure I get this auction house correct. GWS Auctions. It's one of the biggest and most world-renowned auction houses. Was auctioning off a jacket of Elvis's. Well, the people at Graceland got a hold of, or they seen that they was auctioning off, and they was like, well, we got a receipt from Elvis where there was only one of these made. And I guess Priscilla gave authentication to GWS Auction and that their jacket was authentic too. So they was auctioning it off, but come to find out, Graceland, they caught it and it said that wasn't true. Well, they got to digging in, and this GWS auction sold. Priscilla is getting a kickback from all this.
Yeah.
And GWS auction sold Elvis's plane, they said. And it had like a red velvet interior, and they said Elvis designed it and all that. Well, the Graceland people are saying that was never Elvis's plane. They brought the flight logs and said Elvis has never flew in that plane. And Priscilla swears up and down that she remembers that plane. And they was like, well, even if you do remember that plane, you wasn't with Elvis when this plane was in action. So, it's, and then come to find out, the people at GWS Auction is suing Priscilla because they're making them look bad. And Priscilla countersued them for a load of money. So, right now, people don't know who's right and who's wrong. But I think GWS and Graceland, they are saying they don't know if Priscilla intentionally meant to, that maybe her mental state ain't where it needs to be. And, but they also said, her getting a kickback, that makes it a little sketchy.
It does make it sketchy. And what's crazy to me is if you Google the top earning dead celebrities each and every year, he's usually in like the $30-40 million range.
Yeah.
So it's like, how much do you possibly need the finances? Because even if you spend them all, it's like if he's earning that each and every year, then
well, it ain't him that needs it. It's Priscilla that's getting a kickback.
I know. I'm just saying, like, but I would imagine that she's probably in charge of some of his estate.
That the way that the news clip said, I don't think that's true, because the Graceland people, I don't know if I don't know. I don't know if she has anything to do with it or not. She may have a small percentage, but they talk like they was definitely talk like they was estranged in a news clip.
Oh, okay.
Now, as and then that got me to thinking about people suing people. I seen something on TikTok where this guy was walking on a cruise ship and an electric door closed and hit him in the head. All right. Something, happens all the time. Listen, I've walked out of gas stations and run into the door because it's closed.
Yeah. Every time I go to the town center mall, I mean, it's the same way.
Does it all the time. But these people got $21.5 million because they said that it caused the guy to be cranky. He wasn't the same funny guy that he was. He couldn't change light bulbs, couldn't climb ladders. Said it destroyed this man's life. $21.5 million is a bump by a door worth $21.5 million. And from what we've seen, there was video of it. We didn't see anything that, any lacerations or anything like that.
No, just a little bump.
Yeah, just a little bump.
Just a little bump.
So was it worth $21.5 million, JJ?
That's a big number. I mean, because when I saw the video, like, he did take a nasty hit for somebody his age, but a $21 million hit, I mean, I don't. It's taking it a little too far.
Yeah, and that's what's got this world into a so happy world.
Mm-hmm.
Businesses, it makes it harder on businesses to make it because you have to have unbelievable insurance because of stupidity like this.
Yeah.
So, businesses are having to put out a lot more money just to stay open. I mean, at the end of the day, stuff like that, sometimes, you just be like, okay, my bad, or, hey, that shouldn't have happened. Let's figure out how not to make it happen again. But, let's not go soon. Did you have a good time on the cruise?
Yeah.
I mean, was it worth the money that you paid? Did you meet some nice people? Was that really worth screwing them people? And, I mean, it could have made a business go under.
I was about to say, can you imagine? Yeah, because, I mean, you think about how much money that they're making from each individual on those cruises. I mean, what, a couple 100,000?
Yep.
So, I mean, you're looking at probably 30 trips worth of income right there.
Yeah, unbelievable. JJ, Pot-Ho of the Day.
Uh-oh.
Sponsored by Bruce Walters Ford. Let's look at this baby here. Pot-Ho of the Day. JJ, this Pot-Ho right here has been really affecting Pike Countyans for many years.
Many years.
Many years. And it's been there. Do you recognize where this Pot-Ho is?
I'm looking at them. Is that in Pikeville? Maybe one of the parking lots in Pikeville?
No, it is not. It's something that since I got my driver's license is when I remember this Pot-Ho first coming about. And this Pot-Ho, I don't think has ever been patched. And as you can see, this is a deep Pot-Ho.
Yeah,
there's a lot of families that have been affected by this.
My car, there'd be no coming back from that.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you where it's at. It's in the entrance of the Wendy's in South Williamson.
That's
the
same pot.
That's the same Pot-Ho that's been there for many years. Guys, make sure you reach out to your county road department. Let's get this baby fixed so it don't affect families, continue to break down vehicles and affect them families' incomes, because this Pot-Ho right here is costing a lot of money to a lot of Pike County and Mingo Countyans.
And that's making Pike County look bad because Pike County is usually good with their state roads, like good with taking care of, and things like that. I mean,
I don't think that's state road.
Or just the state of Kentucky in general seems to always be good with looking out for, bad spots on the roads or just different places. Like, I figured they would do better.
Again, guys, this one come in from one of our viewers, sent this in. Make sure you send us, if there's any Pot-Ho affecting you or a loved one near you, make sure you send it in so we can bring attention to that and try to get that baby fixed. Pot-Ho of the Day. Now, JJ, I always do the grind the gears segment. I'm going to let you do it because this weekend, JJ actually, he got a little fired up. I took JJ before the game. I said, JJ, I'm going to buy you lunch. We're going to be up there all day. We're going to eat lunch. And JJ, tell them what expired at the local McDonald's.
The price of the double cheeseburgers is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, when I was in school in the early 2000s, like, they had a $1 menu, and you could literally get, 2 double cheeseburgers, a McChicken, and an order of fries for like $6. Your order was almost like $18 to $20 for 6 double cheeseburgers, and I think that's unbelievable. I mean, $3.69 for one, when they used to be just $1 like 8 to 10 years ago, but yet they're not raising the wages enough for people to be able to afford that. It's like at some point, like, you're not going to have as many people going to the fast food restaurants. I mean, I just don't get it. I mean, that makes no that makes no sense to me.
Grayson Lafferty says, "Buy me some lunch." I will. I'll take you up on that, Grayson, sometime. But I tell you where we're not going, McDonald's.
No.
You can go eat at a 5-star restaurant for what you can feed a family of 4 at McDonald's nowadays. It is insane. I was shocked because I bought you and Coach McCoy. Coach McCoy, he coaches our D&D Mountain Elite team. And I was like, I'll be nice and I'll buy these guys lunch. And I was like, give me 6 double cheeseburgers. All right. The last time that I remember buying double cheeseburgers, because normally I'll eat a double cheeseburger, but I'll get my family's food in the midst. So I still think I'm like, well, they're spending $25 and, I'm going to get a $1 double cheeseburger here. And I was still thinking, I was like, it's 99 cents. And if you get cheese on it, it's $1.19. And, but when they said $17 for 6 double cheeseburgers, I was like, what? And I was like, no, I just wanted double cheeseburgers, not quarter pounders.
No fries.
No fries, no
drinks
nothing.
or nothing.
And then when you told me that they was $2.89 now.
$3.89.
Yeah. And I asked that lady, I said, are you kidding me? And she's like, no. She's like, that's how much they are. The inflation is, I don't think I realize because I don't shop as much. My wife does all the shopping. So whenever, and then I remember like right now you go and you get a 12-pack of pop, you're paying $9 for a 12-pack.
It was $4.50 when I was in the field about a year and a half ago.
Yeah. Sometimes it's $12.
Yeah.
For a 12-pack. That's insane.
Yeah. Like nobody's going to be able to afford that. And that's why we're hoping that
Donald Trump gets in office. That's why.
Makes things a little bit cheaper,
Yeah, because it's clear what's going on right now is not working.
Absolutely.
So, but either way, JJ, guys, you got to understand, JJ is a very frugal guy. When we go to restaurants, JJ pulls his wallet out, and I'm like, oh, JJ's paying. No, JJ's taking and going through his coupons, and he's like, here, and he's laughing because he knows it's true. He's like, here's the coupon. And I'm like, I thought you was paying. He's like, well, technically I am, but here's $2 off. But you guys would have had a laugh if you would have seen JJ's reaction when he's seen the inflation of double cheeseburgers at McDonald's.
Oh, whenever I go to McDonald's, you can use one coupon, and then after you're finished using that coupon, you have to wait 15 minutes to go use another one. So I would wait 15 minutes to use the second one. That way my order would go from $9 instead of being $17.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's honestly sad that you have to do that. I mean,
it's very sad.
Yeah.
But it's the way that life is, JJ. So JJ, as we're sitting here, have you been to the movies lately?
Actually, I went to the movies on the 3rd or 4th of July, and the price was absolutely insane.
There he is. I wasn't even talking about price, and he had to bring up the price of movies.
Yeah.
Twisters. The new Twister movie.
Wait, they made another Twister?
Made another Twister. The new Twister movie is leading the box office right now. $80.5 million it sold over the weekend.
I would actually like to see that. I mean, it was really good in the 90s. I don't know how it would look today because I haven't seen it in years, but that was a really good movie for its time period. I wonder if they, did right by it.
No, I think, I don't know. That movie, it's been a long time since I've seen it, but I remember it was one of the biggest movies whenever we was younger.
I think it was like 95 or 96.
But Deadpool and Wolverine is still at the movies. So, it ended up, it led both of them with 80.5. It was the leader at the box office. What was the last movie that you seen at the movies?
I think it was Despicable Me Part 4.
Are you, JJ? Are you kidding me? You went to the movies as a 35-year-old man and watched Despicable Me.
Yeah, I had to.
JJ, listen, I hope a woman drug you there.
I got drugged there for sure.
Okay.
The last movie that I saw that I actually was entertained by was Fast Fast and the Furious part, whatever part that we're on now. Were we on part like 12 or 15?
Yeah.
Yeah.
JJ, well, listen, I'm going to give you a pass if you went for a woman.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, JJ, we're going to, I think at 9:15, we'll have Jasper Johnson on. That's who I was just talking to. So if you was wondering what I was doing, I was trying to get the link out to him. But also, Kentucky. Did you watch Kentucky Wildcats at the TBT this weekend?
Didn't get a chance to. Can you tell me a little bit about what happened?
Well, Kentucky ended up winning, and they now play Marshall in the second round. I think they play on Tuesday night.
Really?
Yeah, so both of them got wins. Do you know anything about the TBT?
No.
The TBT is the tournament. It's basically alumni at each school gets together, and they play a tournament, and the winners get to split $1 million prize.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so there's a lot at stake. But the news that I found out this morning really upset me about one of my favorite Wildcats.
What happened?
Willie Cauley-Stein. Do you know who that is?
He was on that platoon team, right?
He was on the platoon team, and he was on the Aaron Harrison them team, and then the year after, I think, he was one of the ones that stayed. Well, come to find out, he is known for shot blocking, but he blocked an autograph and a picture request from one of our Mountain players. So
really?
I'm not going to bring the kid's name up because I'm sure his feelings are still hurt. But the Willie Cauley-Stein blocked an autograph and a picture session with one of our favorites. And when you're at these TBTs, that's what they're all there doing. They're all signing autographs and they're all doing that. So, it would have to, and I don't know what I'll dig into it and I'll see, what the situation was. But, I got to think, that's very odd for somebody in the TBT to say no to a picture with a fan.
Yeah, at the end of the day, you have a responsibility.
Yeah, that brings me back. Have you ever had a moment with a celebrity? People always say, be careful, don't meet your heroes.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever had a situation pop up?
Phil Hellmuth at the World Series of Poker about a year and a half ago. We was playing in the same tournament, and we got to a break, and I walked up to him, and I asked him how his chip stack was looking, and he did this right here, which basically means he had a decent chip stack for the situation. And I looked at him and I said, Play Poker Like the Pros was one of the first books I ever read as a kid. And he just looked at me and just gave me a look, and I was like, yeah, I'll see you eventually.
No, it's time to leave.
Yeah, I will see you eventually at the table, and I will make a mental note of this.
Well, I'll tell you, mine was back. It was before it started D&D, of course. It was back when Cameron Justice played at Knott County.
Mm-hmm.
They used to be rivals with Cordia.
Yeah.
Roger Rhodes was one of my favorite UK Wildcats I grew up watching.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he ended up, we went, Knott County ended up beating them. Cameron dropped like 50 on them. And after the game, I went up and I say, Roger, can I have can I have a picture with you?
Mm-hmm.
And he said, no, sir, and gave me the bird.
Oh, wow.
But now that I look back at it and covering sports, I'm like, maybe that was bad timing because, I was a Knott County fan and, he just got handed, a 30-point loss. So maybe it was bad timing, but that was my celebrity, I guess, shoot down. So we're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, guys, you want to watch this. We got Jasper Johnson coming on. Come right back and join us here on the Startup Morning Show. You're watching the D&D Sports Network.
Pass, bring them to Hall & Jones Funeral Home in Virgie, Kentucky. We let you grieve in peace instead of worrying about a heavy financial burden of burying a loved one. Here at Hall & Jones, we have multiple chapels that can accommodate any size family. We look forward to helping you and your family here at Hall & Jones.
Started right here on this farm. We may have grown over the years, but we've never lost sight of what was important to us. We're continuing that tradition today, and we always will be for generations to come.
And we are bringing on here Jasper Johnson as we return to the Startup Morning Show here. Jasper, can you hear us? There
Hello.
he is. Yeah, there's Jasper. Jasper, thanks for joining us this morning, man. I know you've had a hectic and a busy summer, but definitely appreciate you waking up with us here on the Startup Show.
Yes, sir. Thank you. No problem.
Yeah, Jasper he's kind of the pride of Kentucky. JJ Jasper, I'll give you a little background on JJ. JJ's a little new to the scene here. He's from West Virginia, so he don't know a lot about Kentucky athletes and stuff. So, when he always does homework whenever I put it out at night on who we're having on. And he was blown away when he said, "We got one of the top 5 players in the nation." I said, "Yeah, but Jasper." When I met Jasper years ago, but when really got to know Jasper is I actually caught a video of his that I felt sorry for posting, Jasper. And I don't know if you remember the video I'm talking about, but he crossed this kid up at the camp with Oscar that Oscar put on the what was it, the
Port 14?
Port 14 camp. He crossed this kid up, and it was so bad that I felt bad posting it. So I went to about 4 or 5 people asking, should I post it before I post it? Because I knew it was going to hurt this kid's career. And
that's somebody's son. You're about to do this.
Yeah. So JJ, I'm going to let you have Jasper first.
Man, it's really nice to meet you. And I appreciate Darryl, letting it be known that I'm still learning about the players. But he did tell me that you recently signed a deal with OTE.
Yeah, yes, sir. Yep.
Oh, that's terrific. So can you tell me what your thought process was going into, making that decision to sign with them?
Really just a new opportunity. I know it's an up and growing program. They've been producing a lot of guys in the NBA. So, just being able to have the opportunity there, I feel like I can make my decision to go there, grow my fan base and also get better as a player.
Absolutely. And you definitely have NBA talent. When I was watching some of your highlights, you're a very shifty guard. You can get your shot off in a variety of different ways. I actually see a mixture of James Harden and Kyrie in your game. So can you tell me, some of the players that you try to model your game after?
I don't really necessarily model my game after, anybody, but just watching the game, you can always take a few tips and take a few things from different players that you see just by, watching each and every day, like summer league and things like that. So I wouldn't say there's a specific player that I really model my game after, but I just take and learn from what I see.
Well, that makes sense. Who are some people that you watched growing up, maybe? Like, did you have any certain favorite players that you watched?
Yeah, I had a couple. D'Angelo Russell, Jamal Crawford. Is one of my favorite. Older players.
Jay crossover.
Yeah, Harden, like you said. It's a couple different players that I like to watch.
Jasper, as we sit here and you entered the OTE draft, I seen whenever I seen that, it surprised me because whenever you left your AAU program your prep school, I thought for sure you'd be coming back to Woodford County. How serious was the talks, or did you ever think that you would be back at Woodford, or did you have OTE on the mind? Was that in the works already, or when you left prep school?
Yeah, I definitely had a thought in my mind about coming back home. Finishing my senior year with some of my friends and being closer to my family so they can come watch me play. But it was just a lot that really went into my decision. Between overtime and back home. So, just being patient. Talking to my family, my parents about it, exploring my opportunities, and it just happened to end up being at overtime.
Yeah, and I tell you, some people that's happy is people like Michael Marino, Xander Carter, because it's going to make that Mr. Basketball race a lot more easier without you around. And Jasper, JJ, one of the reasons why Kentuckians have got so close to Jasper and they feel like he's one of their own is his dad was a legendary football player at UK, and he played football with one of the co-owners here at D&D, David Jones.
Oh, okay.
So he was a little bit older, I think, than David. But talk about that. Your dad growing up. Who your dad was. Did that ever put any pressure on you? And did you ever have pressure to play football?
I wouldn't say pressure, but I mean, I actually grew up playing football, my whole life until, this past year. So, I mean, just me coming from a football family and athletic family, I mean, that was my first sport I started playing was football. So, I mean, I definitely enjoyed playing it for sure, but I don't think it would have went. I mean, it could have went to college, but I really love the game of basketball, so I decided to stick with this.
Well, your dad was quite the basketball player too. In the backyard, who wins that battle?
Me for sure, but if you ask him, he'll definitely say he wins. But I think I've been beating him for many years now. He can't beat me.
He ain't holding back on his dad. Yeah. Now, Jasper, as you go in, you talked about and that's one thing that when we had Xander on, we talked about him passing up the opportunity to go play for OTE. That was a big opportunity that he passed on. But the one reason why is because if you go to OTE, it increases your chances substantially to get to the league. Was that part of your process, knowing like okay, there a lot of these kids from this league goes to the NBA, and it could help ensure my path there. Did that cross your mind any, or what was really behind that decision?
Yeah, I know that's something a part of it. It can help me get to where I want to get to, where I've dreamed of getting to my whole life. So it really just came down to where I thought I'd be able to develop myself most. So being at overtime, staying on campus, working out with some pros, having all the equipment and things like that that I need, and people around me who are really motivating me and pushing me to, get to my goals. So, overtime was the best move for me in that predicament to, get to what I need from rest of my high school season.
Now, the next year, is this is it just 1 year you plan on staying there, or?
Yeah. It's just my last year for my senior year, and then I go on to college afterwards.
Yeah, okay. That's what I want to get to here. Obviously, I know when Coach Cal was at UK, he was all over you. I was there when I think you first opened his eyes. We covered Darren Peterson 24/7. We do all of his home games at Huntington Prep, and it was a Sunday day, JJ, and I grabbed Coach Keithley. I said, "Let's head down." I said, "Darren Peterson's playing Jasper. Let's go down and check them out." So we went down to Woodford County. Jasper, that was an insane atmosphere. I don't know that I've ever seen an atmosphere like that. When you look courtside, I mean, you had probably 11, 12 Division I coaches, including, Coach Cal. Duke was there, Carolina, everybody was there. All the UK players was there. The who's who of basketball was there to watch that matchup between you and Darren Peterson. First of all, how was that atmosphere, to you? Did you enjoy playing in that?
Yeah, I did for sure. I mean, being able to come and play back at Woodford again to in front of my family and friends and all of my supporters who have been there along my journey. My representative of Core 14, Nate Conley, actually came to me with the idea earlier on in the year to set it up and play in honor of my grandfather. So I mean, being able to represent him and play as well as I did in front of the people around me was a good feeling.
Yeah, at that time, I think coming into that, I think Darren was ranked the number one shooting guard. You was the number one point guard, I think, in the nation at that time in your class. And you come out on fire. I mean, I can't remember how many threes did you hit that game.
I think I hit 10.
Yeah, hit 10 threes.
Wow.
And after it got past like 5, I started watching Coach Cal when they was going in, and his face. I mean, I could tell then. I was like, he's going to be all over Jasper after this one. And Cal ends up going to Arkansas. Pope and him comes in. Have you had much talks with the new coaching staff?
Yes, sir, I have. Yeah.
Okay. The now. Whenever you take, I think I seen a thing. Have you narrowed your colleges down to a group of 8 yet?
I had dropped my list to 10 early on in the year, but I opened my recruitment back, so I haven't made a list, but I plan on making a list soon, whether that's a top 5 or something like that. So pretty soon, I plan on making my list.
Okay, I don't want you to put you on the spot and you say your list, but just some of the schools that are intriguing you right now. Who are some of the visits that you've really enjoyed?
I've enjoyed a lot of my visits. I know every school and every program has a different pitch. Being able to go see these different games and fan bases and things like that, it's a great opportunity. I wouldn't say really there was a favor, but I mean I just enjoyed being able to have the opportunity to see these different programs and what they have to offer.
Okay, now obviously you being a Kentucky kid, I'm sure that BBN's they're probably the loudest at trying to get you to come, right?
Yeah, yes, sir. Yeah.
Now what's your plans right now? I mean, are you in Woodford County? You at home right now, or?
Yeah, I'm in Lexington. So I live in Lexington. Yeah.
So when will you go? I know that they have that draft, and from what I'm hearing, you're probably going to be one of the first 1 or 2 took in the OTE draft. When do they do the draft, and when will you have to leave Lexington?
I'm not sure when the draft is, but I think I have to move into overtime. I think August 24th or somewhere in the time. Yeah.
Now, the way Xander was telling us, whenever you go to OTE, you got to go down there and basically live for a year, right?
Yep. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So is your family how hard of a decision, knowing that you're close to your family, was that to say, okay, I'm gonna have to go my senior year and not technically be around my family, because your dad works at Woodford, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah, he does.
Yeah. So how hard was that on you?
I mean, it wasn't really that hard. My past season at Link, I stayed by myself as well. So being used to being away from my parents and my family was something that I've been through this past year. So, I mean, really, that wasn't really that hard of a decision, to make, to know that I'll be living away from home again.
Do you ever reach out and, you ever sitting at home and just sometimes just feel sorry and pick up a pen and want to write a letter to that dude that you stowed his ankles?
He's got them on the wall somewhere.
Yeah. Now, Jasper, we got a couple fan questions here. Everybody wants to know. Everybody knows Jasper Johnson, but they're wanting to say, who is Jasper Johnson? Mm-hmm. Okay, what's your favorite shoe?
Ooh, favorite shoe. I'd probably say Jordan 3s.
Jordan 3s. Oh, that's the first one we've heard. The favorite cereal?
Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Uh-oh.
That's a good choice.
Yeah, that's the first time we've heard that. All right, Jasper, if we look through your playlist right now, top 3 artists.
Top 3 artists. There's a rapper that goes by, his name is L5. Okay. He's an Atlanta rapper. Then there's a rapper that goes by, his name is Fat Mac. He's one of my friends as well, who I listen to. And then third rapper would probably be, I don't know. It's a lot of different rappers. Probably maybe like Drake. Okay. He's pretty good. Yeah.
Jasper, I'm going to take today when me and JJ go out and selling after the show. I'm going to take and turn it on. I'm going to bump some Fat Mac and some L5. You know, the last time we had Caleb Rimmer on, and he turned me on to this guy OT7 Quantity, and I wasn't very impressed with him. So I hope Fat Mac and L5 impresses me a little bit more than OT7 Quantity.
Yes, sir.
So what's your favorite sports movie?
Favorite sports movie? I say, either Air Bud or Like Mike.
Oh, okay.
2 classics. Yeah, that's my childhood right there. The Air Bud, especially.
Yeah, Jasper, who's your favorite NBA team?
I don't really. I'll probably say the Lakers because I'm close with D'Angelo.
Okay. Well, what about D'Angelo for you, JJ? I know you didn't know, but D'Angelo is actually a Kentucky boy too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
He's from Louisville, so that's you probably get to see him work out with him quite a bit, don't you?
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yep.
Yeah. Now, whenever you take and look at colleges, you know, I don't. This has nothing to do with your decisions or all that. Who'd you grow up rooting for? Was you a Cats fan?
Yeah, I like the co-ed team. I like Kentucky, and North Carolina growing up. Those were probably the 2 best teams I like to watch growing up.
Jasper, I like you. I sitting here under the table. I had my fingers crossed. You wasn't gonna say Duke.
Nah, I didn't really grow up too much of a Duke fan.
Well, as we sit here and NFL, you know, you said you grew up a football fan. NFL, who you root for?
I'll probably say, I don't know, maybe the Panthers. The Panthers were my team back in the day, but I don't know about too much now. They haven't been doing that good, but probably the Panthers.
All right. So you're probably Cam Newton fan.
Yeah, definitely. All the way.
Jasper, when you know your basketball career has took you all over the world, it's took you all over the U.S. You've got to play some big time venues. You've got to be around a ton of big names. You know, whether it's trainers or whether it's just playing in a certain game. Was there a couple instances where your eyes really started to light up? Like, I can't believe I'm here.
Not really, because I mean I know God has a plan for me, and I've been doing what I've needed to been doing with the help from my peers and family around me. So, I mean, me by working really hard is giving me these opportunities to play in front of these different people in these different locations. So, I really wouldn't say I'm surprised, but I mean it's something that I definitely take notice of myself.
Well, on the ball, off the ball, what would you rather play?
Either or, really. Whatever my coach needs me to do, I feel like I can do on the ball or off the ball at a high level if needed.
What do you enjoy playing the most?
I don't know. It's really a mixture of both because this past season at Lincoln I had to play a lot off the ball. But I still had a great season there, growing as a player. But this this year right now in AAU, I'm playing more on the ball. So, I mean, I really enjoy both.
All right. When's the next time we can catch you on the floor? Is it the OTE or do you got any camps or anything like that?
I might be going to a couple camps. Maybe still a couple AAU tournaments, maybe 1 or 2 more. But yeah, that's probably it right there.
Okay, definitely send me your schedule. That way that I can check you out and try to find the live feed and watch you there. But Jasper, I do appreciate you joining us this morning, man. Always, we're Monster fans here at D&D of you, and we hope during your OTE season, if you get a little bit of time, you can join us again and tell us how things are going for you. But until then, we'll be rooting hard for you. And thanks for joining us, Jasper.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me.
All right. Thanks, man.
Yep.
Jasper Johnson, ladies and gentlemen.
Is this going to be the first NBA player that I got a chance to interview, possibly?
Probably, yeah, you.
Yeah.
I'd say he probably is.
Yeah, I'm honored.
Yeah.
Very well-spoken kid.
This kid, not only is he going to be an NBA player, this kid will be a lottery pick.
Yeah, that's...
Like this kid's elite.
I mean, his highlights clearly show that. I mean, he's he's really, really good.
Yeah. I was, we come on, and as you know, we do all of Darren Peterson's games, so we're all, we're embedded, we're invested in DP. Like we're huge fans, but and it was kind of a catch-22 because we're over there in Huntington covering his games, but we're also Kentucky boys, and Jasper, we're invested in him. So to sit there to have the two top players at their positions, two top 5 overall kids. So it's most rankings have him, Darren Peterson, I think the Boozer twins, and somebody else is always up there in that top 5. But Jasper, unbelievable young man, and I hope someday that he ends up back in Lexington playing college ball.
I think you never know. But there's a difference in being good just for the area versus good, everywhere. He's definitely somebody that's good everywhere.
Well, we got a lot of comments. We will read them when we come back. But, guys, we got County of the Day. Come back and join us here on the D&D Sports Network. JJ Pruitt and Darryl McCoy.
D&D Auto Sales. Right now, guaranteed credit approval. No credit, bad credit, good credit, it don't matter. Guaranteed credit approval 100% right now at J&B Auto Sales. Stop by and see them today in DeBoer, Kentucky. Crum Funeral Home in DeBoer, Kentucky is committed in giving the highest quality funeral services for a fair and reasonable price. If you don't want to have to deal with heavy financial obligations during your grieving process, come see us at Crum Funeral Home. Our staff is ready to serve you.
Drug today and let them fill your prescription. Eric Holman Drug has been serving the Chapmanville community for over 46 years. They're a proud supporter of the Chapmanville Tigers and all mountain athletes.
And we are back here on the Startup Morning Show. JJ Pruitt and Darryl McCoy. We're going to get into our County of the Day here in a second. But I forgot to, I know Jasper, he goes over and wins some gold medals and stuff at the U.S. I forgot to inform him about my medal, JJ, about the Cannonball Championship.
I'll wear it with pride if I have one.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to send him a selfie in a minute.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but Jasper, unbelievable kid. Want to thank him taking his time out of the day. Listen, he's the type. When we went down to the Oscar Sheboy camp, he's like, is that your son? I was like, yeah. And offered to, for my son to, go shoot with him, and this kid, he comes from good stock. His uncles, his entire family is very special and one that Lexington loves. So if he decides to go somewhere besides UK, it would be a huge shocker. But the thing that scares you is Mark Pope's system. May not be the exact system that he's looking for. So look forward to seeing where he ends up. I hope it ain't Arkansas.
How big is he?
Jasper's, I'd say, 6'5".
I was about to say, because when you said he was a top 5 guard, I'm thinking, he has to have some really good size on him as well.
We got a lot of comments coming in. Stephen Cassador says, can you name your top 3 schools? Talking about Jasper. We didn't want to put him on the spot, Stephen, because we know they take a lot of pride in narrowing it down, to their top 8, top 11. So we didn't want to put him on the spot there. Whitey Little says, great interview. Jasper said you would look good in UK blue. Jason Lance says, look even better in red. Cards.
Uh-oh.
So as we're going County of the Day, I'm going to bring a special guest in here. He's 6'4".
Okay.
I'm going to bring a special guest in here, JJ. You've not got to meet him, but he's one of our members of the D&D broadcasting team.
Oh, really?
Yes, we got Bryce Hoskins, the big dog from Bertha. How you doing, Bryce?
I'm doing all right.
Good morning.
Morning.
Bryce, I see you've trimmed down the hair a little bit. You look a little
I
clearer.
have, yeah. I went to a buzz cut about a month or two ago, and it's already grown back out. So I guess I'm gonna have to recut it or let it grow one.
You gotta keep that. You gotta keep that look, man. It looks good on you.
Yeah.
Bryce, today, as you know, here on the Startup Morning Show, we do our county of the day every morning, and
Yes, sir.
wanted to bring you on because this morning is a county that means a lot to you, and that's Breathitt County. So
Breathitt County.
I'm gonna go over Breathitt County, and then afterwards, I'm gonna have some questions for you.
All right.
All right. Breathitt County. County seat is Jackson. Largest city is Jackson. Named after John Breathitt, Kentucky governor. All right. They passed the law in 2016 to become a wet county, JJ. They was founded in 1839, 495 square miles. And out of that, 2.9 of that is water. So that's the largest portion of water that we've seen in any county we've done so far. Now, Breathitt County used to be Fincastle County of Virginia.
Oh, wow.
Remember how we learned Virginia used to have all these Eastern Kentucky counties used to be in Virginia?
Yeah.
Well, Breathitt County was in Fincastle. Later on, it became Kentucky County. And then Kentucky County was split into 3 counties. But Kentucky County was given to the Revolutionary War veterans. So all the people that fought in the Revolutionary War was given land in Kentucky County, and in particular Breathitt. So a lot of the people that grew up there have elders that fought in the Revolutionary War.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So also, let's see, aside for soldiers, now it was made up of, in today's Breathitt County, was made up of Clay, Estill, and Perry. That's what makes up Breathitt. They all gave land to form Breathitt County. All right. The main river coming through Breathitt is Kentucky River. Is that right, Bryce?
Yeah, North Fork of the Kentucky River.
Okay. The border counties are Wolfe, Magoffin, Knott, Perry, Owsley, and Lee. In 1940, Breathitt County reached a population height of 23,946. Now it sits at 13,718, down 10,000. Males median income 26,000. Women's 20,000. The high schools in Breathitt County are Breathitt and Jackson City, Lee's College, Hazard Community and Technical College, and Kentucky Mountain Bible College are the colleges there. Let's see. In South Fork, there is a elk viewing place with a lot of feral horses.
Oh.
So is that true?
Oh, yeah, South Fork, that's a fun place. You go down there, there's lots of wild horses and lots of wildlife that runs around. They got a big overview that goes around 360 degrees. You can walk around and see all the land. There's lots of riding trails and stuff over there. It's a nice place.
Wow, that's definitely. I did not picture it being that when it said South Fork. I thought it was just a field that had some elk and stuff in it. But that's pretty neat. We'll have to go up and check it out.
That's the community. Yeah,
okay,
it's South Fork, but that place is called the Elk View.
Okay, we'll definitely hit that up. Famous people from Breathitt County. Now this might be one you might not claim, and this is one I wanted to bring you on for to get the ones that we don't mention here. But the most famous that the internet found was Kim Davis. Do you know who that is, Bryce?
Kim Davis?
Kim
Davis. I don't know.
Kim Davis. Girl.
Oh, Kim Davis. Oh. No, I don't know.
She was the lady, if you remember, a few years ago. She made national news in Moorhead. She was one of the county clerks that would not sign the same-sex marriage certificates. Do you remember this?
I don't know if I remember that or not. If I seen her, I would probably remember it, but I don't know. Yeah. Not off the top of my head.
She made there was thousands of memes on Facebook of her. Do you remember it, JJ?
Not too much, not vividly.
If I showed you a picture, you'd probably remember the meme.
Uh-huh.
But she made news because she would not sign I guess they passed a law in Kentucky that same-sex marriages could, and she would not sign it, refused to sign it. Well, she's from Breathitt County. Jeffrey Reddick, he's the star in Final Destination. The Final Destination franchise.
I gotta look up to see which one it is because I've seen all of those.
The Final Destination movies were written by a man from Breathitt County.
Was he?
Yeah.
Oh, that's why.
Yeah, he's a screenwriter and film. So he created the Final Destination franchise.
Yeah, the Final Destination series was made by a man from Breathitt County.
Yeah, that's Jeffrey Reddick. And it's no surprise he's from Breathitt County because when you go back and look at some of the stuff, it's stuff that we think every day, driving behind the log truck. I mean, tell me that ain't crossed your mind.
That's part two. Every time I get behind a truck like
also Chad Warks, he's a member of Halfway to Hazard. He's from Breathitt County. Sturgill Simpson,
Willie,
Willie Sandlin, he's a Medal of Honor recipient. And the restaurants that I come up with is Country Kitchen, White Flash Restaurant, Cozy Corner Cafe. Let's see, we got RSF Dairy, Cherries, Variety Pizza, and the Mexican Restaurant. Now, do you got any famous people or restaurants that we didn't mention that people need to hit on?
I feel like you got to mention Showtime Pizza. Showtime Pizza is a great place to eat around there. Really hit about all the restaurants. You hit Variety, all those places. You know, there's lots of good places to eat in Breathitt County. I'm not real sure about the rest of the famous people. It's not really my forte. But I knew that Sturgill Simpson. If you actually listen, Sturgill Simpson has a song called Pan Bowl, and that's the lake in Breathitt County. And he talks about growing up over on. Yeah, he talks about growing up over on quicksand and stuff. And so it's a really cool thing to have some people like that from your county. And I knew about the Final Destination series, but other than that, I didn't really know much about the other people.
Well, other than Jackson, some of the communities in Breathitt County are some of the most intriguing names of communities. So I'm going to go over these names here. And Altro, Bays, Caney, Canoe, Chinoe, Clayho, Chinoe, Clayho, Cockrell Fork on the line of Breathitt and Perry counties, Crockettsville, Elkatoy, Evanston, Fish Trap, Flintville, Frozen Creek, Fugate's Fork, Gage, Haddocks, Hardshell Caney, Hayes Branch, Leatherwood, Morris Fork, Nix Branch, Noble, Noctor, Oakdale, Portsmouth, Quicksand, River Caney, Riverside, Rose Branch, Rousseau, Rowdy. You know, if you're in Breathitt County, you got a place called Rowdy.
Yeah.
Lord have mercy.
The Saudi. Sebastian's Branch, Shoulder Blade. Yep, never heard of that. Smith Branch, South Fork, Stevenson. Troublesome Creek, Turner's Creek, Van Clay, War Creek, Watts, Wick, Will Stacy, and Wolf Cole.
Yeah.
Now, Bryce, this shines a little light on Breathitt and tells us that you guys like to get a little rowdy there with places called Rowdy, War, Troublesome Creek. I mean, what's going on in Breathitt?
Nothing good, I guess.
Bryce, real quick, talk about Breathitt County and what it was like growing up there and what makes Breathitt County so special.
I feel like everybody from Eastern Kentucky really understands that Eastern Kentucky is such a tight-knit place. But there's also downfalls to lots of things in Eastern Kentucky, politics, last names, and stuff. So I felt like growing up in Breathitt County, it was really a reward and a pleasure to be a part of a community that was, I feel like we was always strictly always for the best. Like growing up, it's like there was no politics. Like best player always played. Like even when it come to school, teachers were fair. All the people support each other. So I feel like that Breathitt County is an exemplary county in Eastern Kentucky as to how people should treat each other and how people should have each other's backs and stuff. So it truly was a pleasure growing up in Breathitt County. So because of all the support, your cars broke down on the side of the road, nobody's going to stop and hesitate to help you. So it's just a tight knit place, as is the rest of Eastern Kentucky. But I guess being from Breathitt County, I am going to be a little biased, but I never had any problems really at all with any people, even in school. We didn't have a lot of fights whenever I was in high school. It's like we've always been a tight knit community, and it really shows when it comes to sporting events and just places that you need to show support. When you go to a basketball game, Breathitt's playing, it's going to be packed out in blue. So I feel like that just goes to show, a small part of how much we support each other.
Bryce, a couple things to hit on there that you just said. I couldn't imagine many people wanting to give you a problem, anyways. Yeah, you're a pretty big youngin, and the other thing is, if people broke down on the side of the road, I'm a true testament to that, because I broke down, and Bryce, he come down and took me to get my tires spent his whole day running me around getting my tire fixed. And barely knew me from Adam at that time. So that definitely, you're a true testament to what Breathitt County and stand for, Bryce.
What did Tracy Lawrence say? Find out who your friends are.
There you go. The Bryce says, I got to move this real quick. Can you see my medal?
I can't. What is that?
That's the 2024 Soaky Mountain Cannonball Champ.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, I had to move basketball. Oh, yeah. The had to represent, just like you went, your senior year went and, got some hardware and brought the mountain some hardware, and your trip to Rupp Arena with Breathitt County, I had to bring some hardware back.
That's right.
So Bryce, JJ Bryce is, JJ don't know much about a lot of the Eastern Kentucky sports scene. So Bryce was one of the big dogs on the Breathitt County team that went to Rupp Arena a couple of years ago, and
really,
he ended up earning an athletic scholarship to the University of Pikeville. Now, Bryce, I hear that are you not playing football this year?
No, I'm not going back to Pikeville this year. I'm actually helping Breathitt County coach football this fall, and working and going to school still. So I decided to take my life in a little bit of a different direction.
Okay, well, I definitely, I'm glad you're doing that, and I hate to not see you playing on the field anymore, but I definitely understand the decision. We might as well, while we got you on here, give us 3 names on Breathitt County's football team we got to watch out for this year.
Oh, man. Jaden Gibson is one that comes to mind. Jaden Gibson was a freshman whenever I was a senior, and he was rushing the ball like a man, even as a freshman. He absolutely totes the rock. Definitely got to look out for him. And I would say you definitely got to look out for Corey Combs, linebacker Corey Combs, whenever he gets back. Him and his brother and Ethan Bowen all got in a tragic car accident, so make sure everybody on here keeps them in their prayers still. But he'll be back and better than ever. Definitely got to look out for him. Another one to look out for was I would say to be freshman quarterback Miles Holland. He's absolutely putting the work in. He's going to come in possibly to be a 4-year starter probably. But man, the kid has a pretty throw. Like I've never seen a freshman throw the ball like he does. His form's tight. He's got a tight spiral. He has no wasted range of motion. Absolutely puts the ball where it needs to be. So I would say that's definitely. There's way more. That's just a testament to the 3 that's in my mind right now. But those 3 right there are definitely going to have a big season for sure.
Well, let me ask you this. I do know y'all got a huge transfer in Tater Skidmore.
We did.
How's he doing as a freshman?
Oh, Tater's a monster. Like there ain't there ain't no different way to put it, man. He's just a man. He's a freshman, but that kid's a man. His bench and squat numbers just prevail to that. So Tater's from Breathitt County. He played Lumberjacks growing up. Like he's a Breathitt County kid. Switched to Hazard to do wrestling, and Breathitt County's got a wrestling program now. So I guess that made him want to come back. So I guess he'll probably be starting right tackle, I would say, on the O-line this year. But I mean, the kid can play. He's got a nasty streak to him. Between the whistles, man, he can absolutely wreak some havoc. So I look for Tater to have a big season this year.
Well, Bryce Crayson Lafferty, he says, Cannonball Champ, he says, that's sick. Would you like to see my actions that won this medal, Bryce?
Gosh, yeah, I would pay to see that. Good money.
Okay. It's loading right now, so I'll show you here in a second. But, JJ, you're getting to know Bryce. You got any questions for him?
When will I get to? Do you call games? Like, will you be? Do you do commentary as well? Is he?
Yeah. I'll be around.
Oh, okay. So, do you do football and basketball as well, or are you strictly one specific sport?
I do anything, brother.
Okay. Well, he can help me with the football games.
One time or another.
Yeah, and I promise you, when you see him, JJ, you're about the size of one of his legs.
Well, I mean, I've been the same. I've been the same size since elementary school. So
yeah. Well, here we go, Bryce. I'm gonna show you the video here. You and Crayson, y'all ask. Here it goes.
I got my.
All right. We have the best monster
There you go, Bryce.
Nah, I saw the Ric Flair walk up to it. I love it.
I'm in the presence of greatness.
Yeah, JJ says he don't understand. Listen, when you bring gold back to the mountains, I mean, put a little respect on this, right, Bryce?
Oh yeah. I'm telling you,
he's a winner.
Yeah. Now, Bryce. Last thing, notable athletes from Breathitt County. Who are some of the athletes that you grew up and that fans should know from Breathitt County?
There's a lot of good players that I've played with and that I've seen come through Breathitt County. See, me growing up, Breathitt County was still pretty altered by the getting taken over by the state. So we got a lot of our time cut down. Football team wasn't allowed to put a lot of work in. Basketball team, we ran through coaches. I think Breathitt went through like 6 coaches and 6 coaches in 8 years at one point. That might not be right, but it's right around that. I know my freshman year we had a running back, Guinea Collins, who ran for around 1,800 yards on like 136 carries. It was something like 9 or 10 yards a carry he was getting. So it was truly amazing to watch him play and stuff, and to be a freshman and to see guys like that step up, and then growing up and getting older in the program and wanting to step up again. It was honestly a great experience. We had him. Another one, a senior, whenever I was in 8th grade, Jalen Halby he was a great athlete, lockdown defender, in basketball, of course. He was a great player. We had, and I believe Mr. Austin Spray is going to be one everybody talks about. I mean, me personally, one of the greatest teammates I've ever had. I mean, when you talk about athletes from Breathitt County, when I think about athletes from Breathitt County right now, he's the first name that comes to my mind, man. He's just a wizard down there. But talk about some of the teams from like the football teams Breathitt had in the 90s. I mean, the 95 state championship team that went 15-0. Waylon Chapman at quarterback ended up going and playing a lot at Eastern. Jonathan Chapman played at UK. John Rader played at UK. Just all these guys that went. Eric Collins, huh?
Justin Haddix.
That's the 02 state team. Yeah. I was talking the players I was talking about just off the 95 team, the first one ever. You had Waylon Chapman, Jonathan Chapman, John Rader, Shorty Combs, a starter at Eastern under Roy Kidd. I mean, just all these players that were just unbelievable. 96, Coach Kyle Moore, Jason White. Jason White, one of the only Breathitt players actually to ever rush and receive 1,000 yards both in the same season.
Wow.
The guy could play. Yeah. Just all these players. And then, they talk about the 02 team, Justin Haddix, TJ Fraley, Courtney Johnson, all those guys that could just absolutely play. And so by Breathitt County, it's no question that we have a rich athletic history in both basketball and football. I think in basketball, it's from 1959 to 63, won it 4 times in a row. The first 4 ever. And actually, you talking about all the communities in Breathitt County, 4 of the 5 Breathitt starters on the 59 through 63 teams were from Turner's Creek.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm. And actually, James Talbert Turner, who helped us coach my senior year, was the point guard on some of those teams.
Well, they, talking, go a little bit. Jonathan Chapman, a lot of fans here around the mountains definitely know him. He later went to Pikeville, I think, senior season.
His dad got a coaching job over there, and they ended up moving over there.
It's funny how them things work, ain't it?
Oh, yeah, it is. I mean, jobs and stuff. Like, it's an understandable move.
But no, as I know something that'll bring a smile to your face this summer. Got a chance to watch Breathitt County, Canaan Gross, Braxton Terry. They was down Austin Sperry this summer. I got to watch them at Hazard. No Austin Sperry, but they still took Martin County to the wire. And Martin County is a heavy favorite, I think, in the 15th region. And they took them to the wire without Austin Sperry. So it's got to make you smile knowing that Breathitt looked that good without your star.
Yeah, I mean, you take every single year, everybody takes all these teams, and they say, okay, this team brings back this many players, this team brings back this many players, and lots of people base their rankings off of how many good players a team brings back, and that's not always the case, in my opinion. Like, this past year, everybody was so low on Breathitt, had them in the 3-4 range in the 14th region, and myself, I mean, me and my teammates knew better than anybody, but you got to think, those guys practiced against us for 4 years, and we beat some pretty tough teams. Like, we were no pushover when it came to competition of basketball. We weren't playing cupcake schedules. I mean, and those guys practiced against us. Me, Luke Bellamy, Christian Collins, Austin Sperry, all those guys, Andrew Combs. They practiced against regional champs every day. So I mean, those guys were unexperienced when it came to the big stages and stuff. They had never been out there, but when it came to playing tough competition, those boys were no stranger, and they're still no stranger to it.
Bryce,
so when you
I think Coach Al Holland is I think he's definitely the favorite in the 14th, but Breathitt isn't very far behind at all. I mean, I'm talking they're right there nipping at their heels.
Yeah. And it seems like that's been the trend for the last few years. Perry Central snuck one out and won the region this past year, and they put together a good 4 quarters in that regional championship game, and you can't take nothing away from Coach Shannon Hoskins' game plan. He's one of the best.
And I think Perry, and then I think Casey Huff could be the dark horse.
Yeah, I agree. You take that knot, and then I would not sleep on Jenkins either. They got transferred from Letcher Central, Cameron Hayes, and then they bring back 2 of their leading scorers. I mean, Coach Winston Lee could have something cooking up over there, Who knows?
I keep forgetting about Jenkins. I watched them a couple times this summer, led by Aiden Hayes. They got Braden Sexton back. As you mentioned, Cam Hayes. That Jenkins team is going to be a scary team. I don't know they got enough power to knock off the big dogs, but I can tell you what, it's definitely they're going to have to come play now when they play Jenkins. It ain't one that you automatically circle and put a W beside.
No, it ain't like it used to be. And then you talk about Hazard reloading. They added Ridge Beverly to their squad. So it's like you look at that team, and I 100% believe that Hazard is the clear cut favorite right now in the 14th region. But I mean, you know where my heart's at. I mean, I'm gonna bleed blue till I die. I mean, I'm gonna take breath in any game I can take them in. But it's definitely just like the last 3 years. It's going to be a dogfight come March.
Hazard has, they're the one team that has a front line that can compete with y'all's with Gross and Terry. I mean, when you got Higgins and Eversole, and I honestly think, and then you got Dalton Combs, you got Seth Cottle, but I think 14th Region Player of the Year comes down to Austin Sperry and Evan Eversole. Do you think anybody else that there's a chance of that award going to anybody else?
No, I believe it's a 2-horse race. I believe them, and I believe I'm glad to see that there's new favorites coming out, because I believe from my junior and senior year, it was like we had no idea who was going to win it. You know, it was like there was lots of great teams my junior and senior year, but there was no one player that was a senior that was just just like, oh yeah, that guy's going to win it. So it's like I feel like now you got these guys growing up, Evan Eversole. I mean, he's a 3-level scorer and a great defender. So I mean, then you got Austin Sperry. I mean, what he does goes left unsaid. So I mean, it's just everything that they do is amazing. But I'm really glad to see that there's more provident players prevailing in the 14th region to the point where we can be like, okay, these guys may win it, because the last few years. I mean, you didn't know who was going to win it.
No, and we got a question coming in, and I'm going to let you help answer this question, because you know the man quite well too. You've played against him and covered some of the games with us. But Jen and James Case says, "What are you all's opinion on the new coach at Shelby Valley and their team?" Bryce, home run hire. Matthew Taylor is one of the best, and I promise you. And when it looked like Shelby Valley was going to take 2 or 3 years to rebuild, no, Matthew Taylor will compete for region this year. He does the best. You know, he's a lot like Chandler Thompson at Lawrence County. He can take any group of kids, no matter whether they're the 5-star athletes or not. He can take any group and make them competitive.
Yeah, I agree. Matt Taylor, actually a really good friend of mine. The summer before I went to college, I was going over to Whitesburg and helping them practice and stuff and playing against all the players and stuff. So, I mean, Matt Taylor, I mean, he's a great guy. I mean, great coach. I mean, like he like you said, that he's a Chandler Thompson type guy. And me watching the 15th region, you can say you look at Lawrence County and you look at their team and on paper, they didn't have one player that like you looked at on paper and was like, oh wow, like. No. That player right there could give them a chance. But the way they played so collectively and the way that they were so intense on defense gave them a chance at any game that they played. So Chandler Thompson had their boys ready. But when going back to the Matt Taylor thing, I mean, he took over Letcher, a team that, they really weren't ever expected to win the region. And in my senior year, I had truly expected it coming out the bracket. It ended up being us and Letcher in the championship, but like it's hard to beat Perry at Perry, so that Perry snuck away with it. They're in the regional semis. We ended up playing Perry at Perry my senior year. But that Letcher County team, they took us to the wire at Dels Combs in the Scott Blank Classic. So I mean that team right there was a force to be reckoned with. I mean they could play. They had Caden Adams, about 6'6", 6'7", stretch. I mean plays a really tough game. He was my matchup. Nigel Nichols, point guard. I mean plays a ton, like kind of like a Chris Paul kind of guy. Like he's not going to score a lot. He's not going to do anything that's insanely crazy. But he sets up the offense, hits open threes. Like he does every single thing that you would expect a point guard to do. Then they had Jaden Huff, great athlete, on ball, ferocious defender. Peyton Dixon led the state in rebounding. I mean, they had 4 or 5 guys that was absolutely like ball players. I was really high on that team, and to be honest, I was hoping Perry won that game in the regional semis because, Letcher was going to be a way tougher matchup for us because they were long and athletic and, played with crazy intensity. So I felt like Perry was definitely a way better matchup for us. And Matt Taylor was the master behind the doors. He was in there, and they say coaches lose games and players win them. So Matt Taylor was obviously probably to blame by the community for that season. But I think that Matt Taylor puts everything he has into his coaching. He's going to bring Gavin. I'm assuming he brought Gavin Hamilton with him to Shelby Valley, and Gavin Hamilton can play. I covered their game over at Letcher and Jenkins that one time, and Gavin Hamilton truly impressed me. Like that kid is like nobody knew his name before that season, but I believe everybody knows his name now.
Yeah, he's listen. That kid really rounding out his game. He's going to be one of the biggest surprises in the region. And
I agree.
This kid didn't come because of Coach Taylor. He was there before, but a lot of people don't know that the Combs kid that played football for Letcher is at Shelby Valley now, and he's a big track star too. So his first name's escaping me, but he's going to be one of the biggest names on Shelby Valley's football team. But when Matt Taylor, he said it best. Like a lot of people, they get a reputation. Like the parents are like, well, my kid didn't like him. My kid, wasn't a fan of his. Well, he said it at his press conference, and I promise you, this is true. If you like basketball, you're not going to like Matthew Taylor. If you love basketball, you will love him. But if you like it, it's probably not going to be the coach for you because he is so intense and trains so hard. That's why he's able to do what he does with less talent.
Yeah, man, Matt Taylor, he's an extraordinary coach. I was really hoping to see him do good, at Shelby Valley. So I'm gonna be rooting for the Wildcats. The Wildcats, right? Shelby Valley Wildcats. Yeah, I'm gonna be rooting for them this year in the 15th. That'll be my 15th region team. I'm gonna go ahead and claim them.
All right, Bryce. We appreciate you coming on. I'm gonna make you promise to come back and join us. Once a week or something like that. Once a month, once a week. Like to have you on. You're always Bryce is a historian, so I always like to get your take. You promise to do that?
I'll promise, man. Anytime I'll ride up or get on the computer and hop on here, and I really like getting on here and talking with you boys. It's a joy in my day. So I appreciate you having me on.
Or keep your Friday nights clear. Football season's coming up. Well, you'll be coaching, so
I'll be on the sidelines.
Yeah, so hopefully we'll get to do some of Bryce's games.
Yeah, that'll be fun
up there. But you'll see Bryce in the broadcast booth sooner than later, though.
Absolutely,
Bryce, we appreciate it, and have a good day, man.
I see y'all. Thanks for having me on.
Guys, we'll be right back. We got the final rundown, fast break of topics that we didn't get to go over, and we're running a little late on time, so come right back and join us because we still got a lot that we got to get over to you. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsors. Drug today and let them fill your prescription. Eric Holman Drug has been serving the Chapmanville community for over 46 years. They're a proud supporter of the Chapmanville Tigers and all mountain athletes. Oceana Discount Tobacco today. Nobody can beat Oceana Discount Tobacco's great prices or their great services. You're treated like family from the second you walk through the door. We want to thank Oceana Discount Tobacco for sponsoring today's events. Go follow them on Facebook. And we are back here on the Startup Morning Show. We're running a little late, JJ. We got started a little late, so that's why we're going. We was a little with the weather, was a little bit late getting started this morning. But hopefully you guys have enjoyed your morning here with us as we see Ashton Deskins, pitcher for Georgetown, tuning in.
Oh, wow.
Former Belfry great. So
Really?
glad to see you tuning in, Ashton. We got a lot to go over here. James and Jen Case says, Darryl may know a little bit about this. Will Valley be getting any transfers? There's a rumor about one that I was real excited about, but not sure it will happen. Well, I think it was very close to happening. I honestly, I'll say this. I don't know. That's a family decision, but I would say that may end up holding off if it waited this long. I'm not sure it'll happen either, but I still wouldn't give up on it, but not sure it will happen. So we'll keep it nameless. Probably the worst kept secret in the mountains, but we'll keep a little privacy there. All right, JJ. Team USA escaped South Sudan. They was a 43-point favorite against South Sudan. South Sudan has no training facilities. They was down 16 in the fourth quarter. Come back, 16-point rally. LeBron hits the game-winning shot. South Sudan, Team USA thoughts?
That just goes to show you how much the game has evolved. I mean, when you go back to 1992 when they played in Barcelona, like that, Team USA was beating everybody by an average of like 40-some points. And now, fast forward, 20-plus years later, I mean, no team is off limits at this point. I mean, every team seems to have a shot.
No, but that's embarrassing.
Yeah.
It is. America, basketball is our sport.
Mm-hmm.
And we're supposed to have the best of the best. These guys are getting paid millions of dollars. And it really upsets me because, it almost like I don't know how that can happen. I know these teams have talent, these other teams, but that right there, it's taken me back to what I call the worst years of NBA basketball. And that was around the 2004 to 2010 period. Whenever, we went over there and our Olympic team sucked. And
Argentina beat the brakes off of us.
And that's what this is reminding me of. Like, you got a bunch of rich millionaires. And I hate to say that because I do know that you got a couple dogs on this team, including Anthony Edwards.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think he's that guy. But I think in future teams, it's always nice to have the big name, the LeBron and stuff. But you tell me we didn't have a better player in the NBA to take LeBron's spot at this point of his career.
I mean, it's just sad, honestly. I mean, like you said, a team that don't even have any facilities. I mean, I know that they have one specific player. I believe Luau Deng is like funding them, or he has somebody coaching
former
them.
Chicago Bull Luau Deng.
Yeah, but still, I mean, they don't even have facilities. I mean,
don't have facilities.
They probably have to have their sneakers donated to them at this point. It's
well, no, I'm sure Luau Deng takes care of that. But,
but
it is. South Sudan, they're kind of like a Cool Runnings.
I remember that movie.
Yeah, the
classic Disney film.
Yeah, but it just let us know your folks said they needed you at the time, Big D. Listen, only one of us can bring back gold, Crayson. Jason Lance says Team USA made up of sheeps and no goats. That's a perfect way to put it.
Yeah.
That's what LeBron, at this point in his career, that's what he is. He's not invested. He does not have that fire that you need to represent the country. And not only is LeBron, JJ, it pisses me off that LeBron is not only on this team, but LeBron is the one that gets to carry the American flag to represent the men's team. LeBron is part of the problem, and when you got players like that, he's got millions of dollars. He probably don't even want to be over there, so make sure that you get players that are hungry, players that's trying to prove themselves. And when you look at some of the players that was left off the roster, I mean,
reigning Finals MVP.
Yeah, Jaylen Brown. You tell me Jaylen Brown wouldn't have helped in that game more than LeBron. LeBron hit the game-winning shot.
Yeah, we'll give him the game.
We'll give him that. But, what led up to that? I didn't watch the game. I'm going to go back and watch it. But that's kind of my hot take. LeBron does not need to be on there.
16-point deficit.
Yeah.
That they had to overcome.
And I say that. Listen, I don't know, man. I think twice about saying that because at the end of the day, LeBron is something for America to be proud of, that he's ours. He is a great, and he's, he's one of the greatest names ever. When you can be called by one name, that's when you know you're a great one. When you Jordan, Kobe,
Bird,
LeBron, Bird, Magic. When you got names, when you're referred to as one name, you're an all-time great. And, it's good to have LeBron on the team. I just don't know that you got to watch who you put around him is the thing.
Yeah, because the offense is pretty much ran through him.
Now, on the women's side,
okay,
117-109, the WNBA All-Stars take down the Olympic team.
Oh, so, some of those players that got left off of the team, they ended up taking the USA team to school?
Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese breaks rookie records. Caitlin Clark broke it with 10 assists, and Angel Reese broke it with
a double-double.
So first rookie ever.
Yeah.
So they continue to break records. It's sad that them two is not on the Olympic team.
And I don't care what your excuses are. Like, if you're truly looking to grow the game of women's basketball, you want the one player that's responsible for all this, money increase and all these increases on that team.
Yeah. I agree 100%.
Yeah. I mean,
and as we sit here and look, James and Jen Case still tuning in, and Jason Lance says former U of L player 8 Team USA up.
Oh, really? U of L.
Who was on South Sudan, Louisville? He's talking about Louisville.
I didn't know.
But Caitlin Clark. The main thing is the people that organized Team USA missed a huge opportunity not to sign Caitlin Clark here, because they would have had all of America paying attention to this Olympic.
They would have had everybody around the world.
Yeah, the entire world. Caitlin Clark said as soon as she got off the plane, she seen a Chinese man with an Iowa hat on.
Oh, I can imagine, honestly, if I was her, if this didn't work out, I'd go to like China or somewhere, like what Stephon Marbury did back in like the late 2010s or, late 2000s when he led, I think it was China to 2 championships.
Yeah.
But like him, players like Kobe and T-Mac, like they were a whole nother level, like as far as superstardom whenever they went to that place. So yeah, I definitely would play there.
JJ, you're a unique cat. You have a lot of quirks. When you take and look, do you happen to be allergic to red meat?
No.
Well, for the folks that is allergic to red meat, they are now making a pig transplant to where it's safe for red meat eaters. So yes. Now, if you are allergic to red meat and you want a piece of bacon, you can eat it now because they got a transplant. Stuff like that. That takes me to something that is really scary, because that the testing probably ain't where it needs to be on this. And when you see cancer and stuff like that and people dying and stuff like that, stuff like it's what causes that.
Yeah, like, what do you mean, like transplant? Like
I don't know exactly.
I'm puzzled.
What they do. I tell you what, that's going to be your homework assignment. Your homework assignment is to dig into the pig transplant and let's see.
You put that in my notes.
Let's see what's going on with the pigs.
Yeah, we're going to look that up right now.
As you know, we're both kin to the Hatfield and McCoys. We're both got McCoy lineage.
We need to look into that as well. See if you and I are kin somewhere down the line, because I'm pretty sure we probably are.
I'd say so. But so that fits perfect. We're McCoys, and we're going to do homework on a pig.
We're going to get our pig back.
Yeah, there we go.
We got to get our pig back.
Yeah, we got to get our pigs back. Yeah. All right, guys. Grayson Lafferty says 1994 Team USA was the best of all time. Not even close, Grayson Lafferty. You are 100% right.
Yeah.
That team, insane. When you look down that roster, I mean, legends. until you get to Leitner.
I mean, he's a legend. He's a legend
Yeah.
himself. You know?
He's a legend in the sport of basketball.
Yeah.
But you know,
I'm
talking about
you had
pro.
11 or 12, like everybody made the Hall of Fame in some sort of way.
Yeah. So
Right.
you know that was the best collection of basketball talent ever.
Mm-hmm.
Not even close.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we're going to take, and me and JJ's got work to do. We got to get on the selling. If you own a business and you would like to sponsor football season coming up, if you would like to sponsor, make sure you reach out to myself and JJ. Make sure you let your local businesses know they need to get on the wagon with D&D Sports Network, because everything we do, guys, every dime that comes into D&D Sports Network is through local businesses. So please reach out to your local businesses. Tell them reach out. As football season's coming up, we got to get geared up. But me and JJ's getting ready to get on the road. We're going to bump some Fat Mac and L5 courtesy of Jasper Johnson. And JJ, we will be back tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Till then, good day from here at the Startup Morning Crew.